This year is the 40th anniversary of Channel 9, which is now Channel 3. And in showing different things throughout history of why and how it worked, I thought I would go over some equipment that makes it even more possible today. When we first started in 1979, we started with home recorders. They were about this size. This is an editor, which we used for about 5 years. We didn't stay with the home unit very long. The home unit would not backspace edit, and you always had to tear up between starts and stops. This will backspace edit. This was the workhorse for about 5 years or so, clear up till about 1987. We went to Super Beta. I don't have the betas here, but they would look pretty much the same. This was not very portable. When we went out on the field, we had 2 of these, and we had to carry them on a cart. And so we were limited about where we could go and when we could go. And then came along the first real advancement. The portable unit. You put this on your shoulder, and you have a deck in here, and you'd put your tapes in it. Same size tape as that. You'd have your tapes in there, and you would have a battery that would go in the bottom of this unit, and a backup you could take with you in that. It wasn't hooked to anything. You could pull it out and switch out. And depending on how much you zoomed with your camera, you could get 20 to 30 minutes out of one of these. These are nickel metal hydrides. We just used to call them hydrides. This would be the unit that was tethered into this. So you can see it was a lot more portable, but still kind of cumbersome, and didn't give you an awful lot of time. But it was a great advancement. And then came along the one-piece camcorder. This really freed us up. The battery would go back in here. Again, you were still shooting very limited time because it was running a capstan motor, and to pay out and take up real motors and loading motors. And so you had motors, and you have the zoom motor, and so it would eat up batteries pretty fast. But you could always carry a bunch of these batteries, change them out very quickly, and get out to cover a fire or a local happening. With a couple of these, you could do a lot of news coverage. So our news really started getting a lot of on-site equipment when we went to the camcorder. There were a lot of different models on the market, and this represents basically all of them. Then in the mid-2000s, early 2000s, things went digital, and this was a major change here. Things really got small and got pretty neat, but it still was a little bit hard on batteries because this inside was a miniature spinning disk hard drive. That ate up batteries pretty fast. If you zoom very much, you ended up with battery life that didn't last very long. And so these machines were digital, they were cleaner, and you could edit more with them, but they were still limited. Now, the cameras that I'm shooting with now are shooting me, so this represents basically the size and what I'm shooting now. And this is where we have really advanced, and I'm able to do an awful lot more because technology has really advanced. This particular unit uses a little thing like this. You can hardly get it on the camera. This would give you 2 hours in the field. You didn't shoot this 6-hour mode in the field because you wanted the high quality. You would get dimension 640 by 480 low quality. This will give you 1920 by 1080 high quality. This would give you 2 hours. This will give you 5 hours. This just basically blows me away. This is incredible. 5 hours on this little thing right here. So when the city council runs into a long session, I don't have to worry about switching out. The longest they've ever gone is 2 hours, so I got lots of headroom. So the next thing that really advanced from the nickel metal hydride was to the lithium ion. This little battery here will run one of these little cameras, the one like I'm shooting with now, for 2.5 hours. That beats 20 minutes. The camera that I used to shoot professionally with carried one on the back side. It was called a brick because it actually weighed 7 pounds. The camera unit weighed 25. We're talking about battery and camera less than a pound, able to shoot incredible amounts of time and incredible quality. And if I wanted to shoot longer, this would be what I would clip in the back of the camera. And so rather than 2.5 hours, 2 hours, depending on how much zoom I used, you could go 8 hours, 7 to 8 hours, depending on how much zoom you used. So technology has opened the door for us, and I'm able to do a lot more for the city of St. John because of these things and this little thing that you can't hardly get on camera compared to one of these.